Don't blink. Yes, you blink. Welcome to our show. Guys, doing well. Tonight, having a wonderful day on this 22nd May 2025. Today, we're talking about a lot of subject, but the first video, so technically I have two videos to do, but they're kind of big. So we're gonna go with the first one. So I know this says nothing to do, but I'm just talking for talking. First one is taking a step back from making content. The second is Trailer Park Boys season 5, the whole thing. And then the second one is how do I feel about taking a step back. The first one is taking a step back from content. I know what you're saying, Ink. You've been talking about this before. It's never sure. You come back. You make some more content. And yes, I'm gonna take a step back from making content because we had an interview yesterday, and I was able to possibly score a job. Now, I'm saying possibly because okay, we're recording the nature part. I'm saying possibly because I did the interview. I did the second step. I said please be ready for a call on Monday or Tuesday. So it looks positive, I guess. But what I'm thinking is either I got it or I'm gonna get something else because I think they really like me. I hope they really like me. See, I'm a slut for people. I'm a people pleaser, but I'm a slut for pleasing people. I'm a slut. I'm a slut. I'm a whore. I'm a cut. I'm a cunt. I wish it was more synonym of slut, but there's not. So we're taking a step back, and you're right. I have been talking about taking a step back, and not. Now this is a big reveal. This is for fuck's sake, things. You're not recording. I hate this. I'm recording here, but I'm not recording the gameplay. Shit. So yeah. So I've been thinking about it a lot. I've been pondering about it a lot. It has been something that has pondered my mind for a while. See, I think although I loved last year so much because we were able to do so much content. I think I made myself sick, and then I realized that content-wise, I was having much more fun. See, my famous burnout, my famous depression, it wasn't led by a lack of making content. It wasn't made by too much content. It's because we went unhealthy with it. I'm a guy that needs boundaries. I'm a person that needs boundaries, and I need to set boundaries for myself. With making content, it was a bit the free for all. I could do whatever I want, right? But with me being my own boss, it came crazy. At first, when I was making content, it was work. And yes, I was thinking about making content, but I wasn't. It was work, and then it was making content. So yes, we were working 14, 16 hours a day, which is a lot, but at the same time, we weren't working on the same thing for 16 hours a day. Also, when I started making content full time, which was last year, I was kind of finally exerting my right. Making content that much became a routine, became something that was out of control. And right now I have a job. That job is so technically that job sucks. The salary is not that great, but there's a lot of insurance. There's a lot of insurance, and long term there's constant raise. There's a lot of discounts on products that are there, which are products that I can be able to taste on camera. It seemed to be a super cool job. The salary is good. The salary, I just said it was shitty, but I'm gonna be making I'm making more than the minimum salaries, and I'll be making even more a couple of months later. So I'm gonna be telling you the salary. The minimum salary is 1605. I'll be making 1715, and if I get the 3 months, I'm gonna be making 1823. So that's pretty good. I'm saying this the salary is shitty because I used to make a lot more. However, I was making more after 7 years, versus I'm making more after 3 months, right? I'm gonna catch up quickly, and even though it will take me 5 years, and if it takes me 5 years to get the same salary, I live alone. I don't have kids, right? So I don't need cash. So yeah, with this job, and one of my biggest regrets in life, and again, it pains me to say so, but I treated people like shit. I treat people like shit. So I want you to realize that I have treated people badly publicly. I was an asshole to friends. I was like, no, I cannot. I have to make content. I cancel plan with people. I cancel plan with family. Be able to make content, and I was shitty. But I was obsessed behind the scene too. When it came to work, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I was thinking about making content, and to me, that was a revenge. That was a revenge. I was being treated like shit at work, so it's like, just you fucking watch. I'll become something, and then try to treat me like shit, right? However, everybody suffered. Everybody suffered, and not everybody was involved to treating me like shit. It became an obsession, and it became something that I did almost as in naturally. I was like, no, dude, I'm making this video. People, people were talking to me on the at dinner, but I was uploading videos, and like, I can't talk. You know, I was thinking, and people were getting mad at me. Like, dude, I understand that you have this passion, but think about the work that you're doing right now. And they were right. And I was like, nah, no, dude, I don't care about this. This is gonna be closing soon. You know. And ultimately speaking, it was forgivable because the company was closing. But I cannot start another job and do the same thing. I don't even know if I'm gonna have coworker, but I'm gonna have responsibilities, and I want to do something good. I'm 32 years old. I want the job to last. Taking a step back also means not being so obsessed with it. The number of videos that I have about going to my father's house and recording while he doesn't know, and just not uploading the content, but just keeping that mentality of I'm filming everything. It's rough because you betrayed trust. You became that obsessed. But again, it's a sickness. You need to film, even if you're not going to post it. You need to film. You know. So yeah, so it wasn't healthy. Taking a step back from making content also means that I don't have the same. See, that's the thing. I don't have I have the same passion, but I don't have the same need. When I start making, it's so complex. It is so complex. I'll do both videos. I'll do how I feel and why we're taking a step back. Ink, young Ink, baby Ink, didn't have a lot of people to talk to. I made a community. I made some friends. That was one of the thing that I needed. I grew up emotionally. I grew up mentally. I grew up as a person. So another thing that I needed. I need some more friends. We made a bunch of new friends. Hi friends. I think the young Ink. So the craziest thing is, you can tell when I haven't talked to people. I'll make more videos. I'll talk more, right? You can tell when I haven't went outside because I got more chaotic energy. I think I'm calmer. I think I accomplish more things, socially speaking. I was talking with Janice today, and I was kind of busy when he was talking to me. Like, you know what, bro? It's okay. What's up? And usually I would have said. Usually I would have said, "Oh, he needs you, bro. This is the right thing to do." Now I was just like, you know what? He wants to talk. Let's talk. Right? He's a good friend. I love that guy, so let's just talk to him. Then with my father said, "Hey, I received a call," and I was like, "I want to talk about it on the phone because I can still film, right?" Like, no, come over. That way we get to see face to face. I'll understand you better. It's like, okay, and I didn't make content, right? I'm able to stop making content. I don't see. It's the most insane thing is, storage wise, it was always a problem. Now, of course, we made some more space on the Galaxy S24 Plus. We have 130 gigs and we have 80 gigs on this one. We have a lot more space, but still, I'm never in a position where I cannot film. Yeah. Is that because we're making less content or we're making more smart content, right? I was arguing with somebody with quality over quantity, and I felt like I need to do quantity because that was my only escape for emotion, my only escape for social aspect of life. That's where I met my ex. That's where I met a lot of the people that I fucking love. But see, it was coming because I had problem with Steph and Ink, and I always felt like Ink was taking me too much space. And my reason for saying that Ink took too much space was saying, okay, well, you know what, Ink, everybody knows Ink, nobody knows Steph. But the reality, did I really need to show who Steph was? It was the simple fact of me being acknowledged not enough, right? That's also important. But then I realized that it wasn't necessarily about being acknowledged. It was personal life. I had no personal life. See, that's the thing. I didn't have a personal life before. I didn't have it. I was playing video games. But I was happy. Now, with making content, I was also happy, but I was imposing on myself this absence of this quote unquote time prison, this quote unquote time shackles. You know, I remember, as much as I fucking miss spending days making content and then being so tired and just going out and just watching the sunrise, knowing that this day is finished and I can go sleep. I miss that. But at the same time, was it healthy? No. You can do it one time, two times, but long term, it's not good. I have to go to the bathroom. I'm really sorry. Like I was saying, maybe it's a healthy thing to do. You know? I don't want to make this video. In the perfect world, I go back 1 year. See, in the perfect world, I go back 1 year in time. I go back 4 years in time. And I'm not making a single video. And then the answer of what if I never did content is the answer. Right? But to be honest, I think that no matter what, maybe it wasn't the 9th of May 2021. Maybe it was the 3 March 2022. No matter what, I would have stamped in my chance. Right? The reason I'm stopping this also is because it was unhealthy. But in the sense of, we did it. We fucking did it. We tried it. I'm not giving up. I'm still going to make videos. I'm still going to do some live. You're basically not going to see changes. You're not going to realize there's changes. There's changes. Why? Because even me taking a break equate to me making more content than a lot of people. Which is weird, but the truth. So yeah, the moment where I realized it was really unhealthy was romanticizing becoming crazy. So the whole Conor McGregor speech of the day where my wife has a car every single day, the day where my kids will never have to work. Losing my mind will become crazy. He's talking about Van Gogh and how he went crazy himself. And then, I don't know, something hit me. Like, dude, you can become crazy and then it'll be something that people will talk about. People will finally acknowledge all your work, right? And there's this part of me that, what if you became a father? What if you had a good job, you find a good girl, you became a father, right? Wouldn't that be nice? That would be nice, right? And I wouldn't lose my mind, right? I used to think that people, and I'm sorry for the term, I know it's not a good term, but I don't care. I used to think that people who worked all year for 2 weeks off of vacation is retarded. I used to think that people that did that were the biggest suckers in the world. You're working 50 weeks to have 2 weeks off. But it was never about the 2 weeks off. It was about having purpose. It was having a motivation to work. And the work itself, put food on the table, feed your family, feed your kids. Right? Then I realized that the only retarded here is a person who has freedom, but it's a perception of freedom. They're still enslaved because they're making content the whole day. They're still enslaved because they're a slave to the number. They're still enslaved because they lost one follower, then they said, fuck, I was so close to my goal. No, you were not close. You were not close. Right? I saw my numbers on TikTok dwindle. And I didn't really care. Not because I'm not grateful for you guys, but instead of 9,000 people, I have 200 or 300 people that I really fuck with. Really there for me, you know? That's pretty much, that's enough. See, taking a step back is, I think taking a step back is temporary. I think I need to resource myself. And with me, it's all in or nothing. So when I take a step back, I stop making content. And that's a problem. Because you're never in the middle. You're never finding a balance. You're always one extremity or the other. So that sucks. I think, personally speaking, that me making less content and taking a step back from making content can be a very healthy thing. Can be finding a healthy balance where I can make my content. I can do what I need to do, what I want to do, more so than anything. Um, but still in a position where I'm not completely tired. Still in a position where I'm human. I should feel like shit because I was exhausted. I went crazy. But again, it wasn't going crazy. See, I was like, dude, it doesn't matter if you lose your sanity. You were never sane to begin with. Yeah, but you could have fixed your insanity. You could have fixed. You could have seeked my help, right? Taking a step back is hard because on days I'll continue to make more content. The reality is I'll possibly do the same that I was doing before last year, which when I was working, it's still a lot less. I want to find a healthy balance. Because taking a step back right now possibly means making more content over the years. I was watching Outdoors Boys, and the guy was, I'm watching my playthrough. And the guy was talking about how the channel had become too big for him. He didn't recognize himself. He didn't recognize his kids and family. His kids wanted to do YouTube. He had 4 boys and they all wanted to do YouTube. And he felt guilty about it. He probably partake in the fact that so many kids want to do YouTube. But then as an older man that made YouTube, he realized how dangerous social media could be. Right? I don't know. I'm following this person. I'm not gonna say their name because they're an asshole. I'm following them because they're not popular. They're not popular, don't worry. I'm following them because they're an asshole. They're not good people. And they're not good people because people are all okay. They're not good people because I hate this. I hate talking about this because I feel guilty. He's not a good person because people push him. So he's the kind of guy that says, hey, you come to my life, you're gonna like the life. Hey, you watch my video, you have to like my video. He's gonna leave positive comments. And I'm the kind of guy that says, bro, I don't owe you shit. I don't owe you anything. And I said, bro, says the dude. Yes, the dude. And I'm like, dude, I don't owe you anything. And then in life, I hear him talk about me. And it's a long story. It's a long story, but I think it's good for that video, for this video. There's 2 cases, both French Canadian. You see, because French Canadian, they're like me. I associate with French Canadian because I recognize myself French Canadian. I used to have this friend Max. Max would make me laugh so much because Max was a farm boy. I love Max because he was speaking French, but really good French. Like people would talk to him and say "Shmakalis." I don't give a fuck, and that was refreshing. So there was a good guy. Him, I'm gonna name him because I don't care. He's not a bad guy. But it's Bissot Quebec, and Bissot was a guy that suffered from over-emotional. He was over-emotional. He suffered from a personality trouble that made him super in his feelings. And when he's reacting something, when he's having a feeling, he doesn't have moderator. I don't know if that's what you call it, to come and balance it out. So you see him crying on social media, and you're saying, dude, maybe that's not for you, right? Maybe that's a dangerous place. And I cried on social media, right? I'm not better. And this guy had this unhealthy, it was not an unhealthy place because him being so open led to him being attacked. The second guy, Bissot wasn't an asshole. Bissot wasn't an asshole, but DNA-wise or personality-wise or human being-wise, social media wasn't a safe place for him. It's like I'm not gonna allow somebody on a spectrum to ridiculize himself on social media, right? I don't think it's. There's a ton of people with disability, with people on the spectrum, people with Down syndrome. I'm watching the show Sean and Marley, and there are two kids with Down syndrome, and Sean is a bit lower on the spectrum. He's a bit more there, and but Marley is really like, you know. But then I'm watching them, and they're cooking, and it's just good times. But with Sean and Marley, which are both Down syndrome, there's also somebody behind the scene, and that person behind the scene takes care of everything, takes care of the social media, and make sure that they're okay, make sure that they are having fun, you know. So the second guy, and I think I'm a mixture of both. So the second guy, I come in, right, and this guy, so this guy is like me, and I feel so bad because he's so much like me. He talks and talks and talks, and the way he's talking, what he's saying is interesting, but the way he's talking about it, just like me, it's monologue, right? You get tired of listening to monologue. So he does some live, and that's on him. That's not on me. He does some battle with one person in the chat, right? And you know what's the craziest thing? This is a true story. He'll go live against somebody else. He has to account. So he'll like his own life to win the battle. But you didn't win shit. You cheated. What's the point? And he does that like 10, 20 times. And then he was doing battles, and I felt bad for the guy. Because I understand oversharing because nobody's listening to you. I understand needing to express yourself because nobody cares. I understand feeling left out, but needing that social interaction. So I used to go to his life, right? The problem was he was doing battle for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And every battle was like, dude, please stop. And I was like, bro, I'm working. I was editing that night. I remember that night very, very well. I was editing. That night I had my first mouse in the apartment. My first mouse. And then he got mad at me. And he said, if you don't tap, I'm going to block you. And in my head, I'm like, you piece of shit. You have 3,000 followers. You have one dude who cares enough or pity you enough to come in the live and show you some love. You're going to block me, so I just left. Right? But then I felt bad. Because back in the days, back when this happened, I was putting myself blood, sweat, and tears. Blood, sweat, and tears. I was putting myself. Blood, sweat, and tears. And I commented live because I wanted to say sorry. I want to tap a little bit. I was gonna tap for an hour, but you know what? I was like, okay, we'll tap for 2-3 games. They're 5 minutes each. Let's stay here for 20-15 minutes and then say, hey, gotta go. Sorry. That way, I'm an asshole that doesn't tap, and I'm an asshole that left. You know. I come back and he's listening to me, and he's talking about me, and he's talking about, oh yeah, and he knew my real name. It's like, oh, Stefan is, and that's a crazy thing. I come into his life, and the guy is like me. The guy has a name. Okay, so first of all, the guy, we're very similar, but he also has the name of my cousin, my closest cousin. We're close in age. We're close in person. So I feel a kinship to him. I feel a kinship. So I come in, and he called me Vendetta. I said, you know what? I don't like Vendetta. It's a bit too violent for me. What's your real name? And this is the first time I told my name, because I was like, okay, well, it's a fucked up request, but you don't have anybody in your life. I want to give you my name. Nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna trust you, right? Type shit. Not nice, but still. I give my name, right? And then he's talking about me, and he said, oh, Stefan, I'm looking at who's looking at my video. Stefan is watching my videos, but he doesn't like them. So first of all, you're gonna be talking, and I do the same thing, so I'm not blaming him. First of all, I'm gonna release 50 minutes of videos. I'm not gonna watch them. I'm gonna cycle through it. I'm gonna watch a couple of seconds, and that's it. I'm gonna leave. I just want you to get that views to help you out, to help out with the algorithm, right? If I can stay a couple of seconds, which is 30 seconds to be precise, and I leave, you still get a view, right? The algorithm will care about that. So I do that, and I'm not gonna like all your videos, because first of all, I would rather watch a video, like it, than watch a video that don't even watch it and still give it a like because I want to help the person. doesn't help you. Leaving a like on a video that you didn't like doesn't help. It doesn't help. You're enabling behavior of a person that will become in denial. My content is great because I got 20 likes, right? So long story short, you said you have to be hurtless. And at this point, I'm done. So I'm like, dude, and I kind of want to piss him off. I don't know why I felt like that, but I kind of wanted, I don't know why. So I stayed in the, I stayed in the chat. And I'm like, dude, if you're going to block me, you're going to block me. So this is a true story too. I'm staying in the chat, and the same night, he's acting like an asshole. So somebody comes in and they're a troll and start trolling him, but it went out of control. He brought his friend, he shared lives with people, and he was being really trolled. And at that point, I'm like, I could have helped him. But I was like, you know what, bro? You're a piece of shit. You deserve this. You know? But in both of these cases, they were both people that didn't belong on social media. Now, why do I say that? Because putting yourself out there is not for everybody. A lot of people that have burnout, a lot of people, they stop making content because it's too much for them. Even for me, it took me 4 years, but I'm at a stage where I'm like, I want a real job. And the truth is, maybe I'll have the real job and I'll work for 2 months or 3 months and I'll be like, you know what? I miss making content. I do miss making content. And we'll see. We'll see. But for now, a job sounds like fun. A job sounds like a change of pace. I think I need to change of pace. So basically, when I started making content, the content was all about changing my pace, right? And then this overstimulation became a norm, and I was so overstimulated that I became tired. So I was understimulated. Never was balance. So now we're going into the second part of the video. The second part is how do I feel about taking a little step back. I feel weird. I feel really, really weird because this doesn't feel like a decision that I made. This is a decision that I had to impose myself. And it's crazy because I'm watching Trailer Park Boys, and it's Bubbles, and he has his go-kart, and Ricky always rode a go-kart and doesn't take care of it. So then he asks Bubble, hey, Bubble, I need the go-kart. And then Bubble's like, no, I'm not gonna share. I'm not gonna give you the go-kart. I'm not allowed to lend you the go-kart. And now Ricky says to him, who's not allowing you to lend the go-kart? And Bubble says, me. I'm not allowing myself to. And I just found it to be so making so much sense. I don't want to allow myself to be in a position where I put myself sick. I don't want to be in a position where I'm in a position. I don't want to be again in a position where I go overboard. You see, those two people that I was talking about before, they both did that to themselves. This person that was over emotional, right? Put themselves on social media to be exposed. People made fun of him. The second person wanted acknowledgement on social media. He wanted acknowledgement, and when he didn't get it, he did a tantrum, which is a childlike behavior. But he still made a tantrum. And now we're all different people. Now that I've been doing content for 4 years, and it's not because it's not because there's no result, because there is result. I have a good community. I love you guys. It's just that sometimes I feel like it's not going anywhere. But at the same time, if you ask me where I want to go with this, I'll say enough to feed a family, enough to have fun in my life, and that's it. And any job will do that. Any job will put enough money in your pocket to buy food for the table. And every single job, you can be happy. The job that I had, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy because of the work. I was happy because of the people, you know? Now, this possible job, I live 3 minutes from there. There's good insurance. There's possible for they're going to be giving me free uniforms. It could be something really cool. I don't know if I have it 100%, but I think I do. And yeah, it's a tough situation because as much as I want to make content, it's just such a weird thing. I see myself making content in 10 years. I see myself making content in 20 years. But to what amount? Do I see myself working as hard as I did last year for 10 years? No. Do I see myself working as hard as I did? See, that's a problem. I associate content with hard work, as much work as we put in last time. And I'm not willing to do that anymore. I'm not willing to do that. I want to do it because it's fun. There's nothing better for me than to do 24 hours of Elden Ring or of any stream, right? It's fun. It's hard. It's fun. So okay, fuck what you're planning. Fuck what you're planning. Today you're doing this, and you better say arigato gozaimasu. Beso grazie. You better say muito mesk. That's what you're doing. There's a certain poetic in that. I remember last year, I was making the Elden Ring, right? And 24 hours. And I was like, dude, how much longer do I have? And for the first time in a while, I look up. And I'm like, holy shit, I've been streaming for 19 hours. The automatic could see. See, this is, you can see the end. You can see the travel line. It's tough. It's tough. And it's also seeing all those talented people on TikTok. And it's not a question of being jealous or feeling insecure. The reality is, I'm seeing those people on TikTok and on other social media, and I'm thinking, dude, they're so talented, and I got more. So, I was watching. If you're Canadian, chances are you're gonna be watching humor. There's a lot of comedian here. I don't know why. There's a lot of comedian. One of them was called Pierre Méthode, and Pierre Méthode, he said the following. He said, moi, c'est moi qui fais la scène. Mais si c'est assis avec nous autour d'un feu de camp, je suis le moins drôle. Which translates to, yes, I'm on the scene in front of you, but if you're sitting with us at around a campfire, I'm the least funny of my friend. See, I see people and talented, and I have so much more success than them. And there's not a part of me that feel bad because I did work hard for it, but the part of me that says they deserve their chances too, you know? And it sucks. It sucks. I was talking, like I said, I was talking to Janice today. I was talking about how he had planned because he wants to make content in June. And I was so fucking happy. At first, I was like, oh, dude. Because, and that's a shitty person. I'm a shitty human being for that. I want to apologize if you take offense to that. You watching this. There's been so often where I had a loyal viewer. And they said, you know what, I'm going to try making contents. Right? And I'm like, dude. And that's another viewer because they were making content. Right? And most of the time, these people, and again, I'm not assuming, but most of the time, these people will not succeed. And because they will not succeed, they will leave Twitch on LOL. Right? So, I'm like, okay. So with Janice saying that, at first I was like, oh, dude. Janice was my right arm, right? Janice was my... Oh, I don't like saying that. Janice was the Batman to my Robin. Better than that. Okay, this is pretty embarrassing, but Janice was the Alfred to my Bruce. If you know what I'm talking about, you're a gangster. Yeah. Doesn't matter how far Bruce goes, he needs an Alfred, right? I'm losing a big part of the identity. I'm losing a big part of being Vendetta, right? And then today, I was like, fuck. And I feel so good because, and this is the weirdest thing. This is why I'm making this video. This very feeling is why I'm making this video. So, Outdoors Boy, like I said, announced their retirement last week. Like another person that I fucking love that is leaving YouTube or making content. And I'm like, there's a part of me that's like, okay, well, somebody needs to replace him. And I know it's not me, but I'm like, okay, well, guess what? See, I grew up in the 90s. It was amazing, but I think what was more amazing was the diversity of culture, the diversity of opinion, the non-PC, the diversity in music. But we had a lot of role model, and nowadays I look at it and I'm seeing, and I'm sorry, but somebody that edits video and say, yo, this is the 10 craziest skin of Fortnite, great video. Are you a role model? No, I'm sorry. You possibly worked really hard, but you know. But I can look at Casey Neistat and say what a role model. How many Casey Neistats are there right now? I can look at Meg Juggernuggets and say what a fucking legend. How many Meg Juggernuggets out there right now? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm watching this TikTok battle every single night. I'm addicted to it. It's really good. Okay? So, with this TikTok battle, it's two assholes. And I don't mean, they're douchebag. I mean, no, I mean dickhead. I mean fucking prick. Horrible human being. And the only reason that people are watching this is because they're hated. So the funny thing is, one of them is more hated. One of them is the most hated in the Quebec and French Canada. But the other one is the next one. And the other one, whenever he goes against somebody else, doesn't make a penny. So they're fighting each and every single night. And it's a good show because it's two trash people throwing trash on each other. Like, okay, wow, this is great. But you're partaking in a culture where those two assholes don't deserve a platform. Yes, that platform is basically making fun of themselves. They don't deserve a platform. Right? You understand what I mean? So when I saw the Outsider give up today, well, not today, it was this week though. And when Jenna told me I'm ready to make content, I was like, okay, well, and I don't know if that's narcissistic, but I was kind of happy because I was like, I'm taking a break, I'm taking a step back, and my boy started me to make content, so it's perfect timing. The truth is, me and Janice were very similar. So if somebody like, I don't know, I have no clue. It's not my boy, but yeah. See, I made a video last week, and I was talking about how hard it was finding a job, and that's the funniest thing with me. We're at 40 minutes. Okay, so this is another part. That is the funniest thing with me. I will jinx myself in the best of ways. I made a video, I think it was last Wednesday, talking about how finding a job is really hard, and I fucking hate this, and I don't feel like I'm valued, and I hate the relationship of power, the feeling of a relationship where I have to beg, hey, kind sir, I'm possibly the worst worker you're gonna have, but please give me a chance. Please help me feed my family. I'm not asking for charity, dude. I'm working for you. You're gonna profit off my work. And I still have to beg for you. You know? I had a problem with that. And it feels like the same thing with taking a step back from making content. It feels like feels bad because it doesn't feel like it's something that I want to do. Feels like, again, it feels like something that I need to do. And I'm not complaining. I'm very lucky to have this. But for the last year, we did what I wanted to do. The amount of thing that I did that I needed to do versus the amount of thing that I did because I wanted to do it, crazy. Me and this guy were talking almost every day. He's a really good dude. And I could consider him a good friend. But yesterday he was like, yo, can you please promote me? And I had so many fucking people be nice to me just to tell me, hey, can you promote me? And that fucking sucks because you don't know how it is. It's like this rich guy, right? It's so nuts because I don't feel famous. It's like this rich guy who doesn't know what friend he has because maybe they're all there for the money. And I'm like this crazy guy that has friends because of he's popular, but he's not that popular. So, I mean, himself doesn't see that self-popular, right? I had this, also this girl, right? I had this girl who was very flirtatious with me, very flirtatious, but was only flirtatious during the stream. When I DM her in the background, no answer. Then you realize that this particular person, was only there to look like the biggest fucking queen in the ball because the popular guy is paying attention to her. Right? I was talking about the two assholes on TikTok battling. One of them yesterday says, hey, I'm starting the battle when somebody sends me a pair of tits. I wish I was joking. And he got his pair of tits. What a horrible thing to do, but he still did it. And got away with it. You know? There's a lot of things that I don't like on social media. There's a lot of things that I don't like. I wanted to keep what I'm doing. See, I laugh about it a lot. It was a meme, but Bob Ross had it all figured out. Bob Ross was this crazy talented painter, this crazy popular painter. But Ross never made millions. Bob Ross never became the next sensation in painting worldwide. He was loved, but not beloved. You understand? Yeah? and it all figured out. See, I'm gonna go back to the Outdoors Boys because it's just phenomenal. The Outdoors Boys, that's a crazy story. The Outdoors Boy, did a first channel called the Catfish something, and they never got famous. The Outdoors Boy have been making content for the last 4 years, and Joe Rogan watched one of their episodes and talked about it. And then Charlie, which is Penguin CEO, made fun of Joe Rogan because he doesn't like Joe Rogan. So he watched it all. He watched an episode to make fun of Joe Rogan. He's like, no, this channel is amazing. And then this channel, he was posting videos and getting millions of views. Really popular, one of the most popular channel. And he always left his comment off. So what does that matter? So YouTube will see that your comments as engagement. So even though with no engagement, he was still getting so many views. He was able to step it up. He was able to step off. I'm seeing the OJ family, which is a cool family, and they're super popular. They're putting their kids first, which is amazing. I'm seeing this PewDiePie. And PewDiePie, to me, always felt like such a fucking asshole. Because PewDiePie was one of the reasons why a lot of advertiser left YouTube advertisement. And PewDiePie felt really, and I mean this sincerely, it felt like a dude that made money when money was to be made. And he said, fuck you, I'm burning the bridge, I'm burning the ship, nobody's gonna be making as much money as I did. But then when you look at what really happened is, he found this wife, and they traveled, and they had fun, and they had a life outside of social media. And then they had their son, Bjorn. And now the guy posted one video every 3 weeks, 4 months, a month. And people are like, yo, congratulations, PewDiePie, you know? But it's also all of these legends that are taking a step back. Markiplier, Jacksepticeye. See, those 4 years were the most constructive years of my life. And hopefully I'm doing this for another 10 years, 20 years. And it's continuing to bring me as much. If the next 4 years bring me half what the first 4 years brought me, I'll be a happy man. I'll be so fucking happy. I'll be like, wow, I'm lucky. But I have to admit that those last 5 years, looking back at it, felt like a fever dream. It felt like it wasn't real. It felt like, holy shit, I did all of that. Sometimes I'm watching a video and I'm like, holy shit, I remember saying that. But filming it, I don't remember. Sometimes I'm gonna see myself and I'm so tired, I'm like, wow. I'm gonna see myself in the video, I'm gonna be so tired, I'm gonna be like, wow, you really worked hard that day. I miss that. As much as I like putting myself through fire, the fire of overworking, the fire of self-destruction, in the sense of I'm working way too much, I miss it dearly. I told you guys that it's great. I told you guys that I had a party at my uncle last week. I didn't tell you something. So I was on my phone. I was playing Final Fantasy because again, it's a game that I can focus on the conversation, which usually I'm not. Usually I'm posting. Usually I'm working, right? And I'm focusing on the game. And the simple thing that I have to do, I'm still listening. I'm pressing a button here and there. Then my aunt, mind you, that I haven't seen in 2 years, she says you're wasting your life on the phone. And I'm like, first of all, and there's part of me, there's a timing of me, there's past ink that would get so mad, say you don't know shit. But then to me, knowing what I was doing was enough. Knowing that I was working, having fun but working, knowing that I'm still less invested than I was. There's time where I would have went to a party, I would have just go into a room and just film and make content. I'm actually really with you guys. She's like, oh, you're on your phone. What are you doing with your life? I'm like, please tell me what to do right now. What? Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do on a Sunday night at 8:32 p.m. Please tell me what to do. Tell me how can I spend my time at this Sunday, right? But I didn't, because I know. But as much as maturity hits, and maturity says she doesn't know the situation, you don't need to get mad at her, right? You're gonna see her one time, and then you're gonna see her in a year. I was proud of myself for not reacting. That I also miss the guy who was reacting. I also miss the guy who said, you know what, you don't know shit. I wish I had this passion. We often compare fire and passion. Fire is destructive, right? I don't want to be a destructive force. Look at people that reach out my new community, right? And when they're talking to me and say, hey, how are you, dude? We miss you. To me, it's such a weird feeling because it's 100 times more fulfilling than making content. I tell you something. When I was doing live on TikTok, I was like, I should have done that before. And then, believe me, that I don't care. I remember all the nights I spent talking to the camera. I'm not talking to anybody else. I remember going to see the sunrise in the morning. And I said I should have done live. To share this moment with someone. You know? A part of me that's taking a step back, there's a big part of it that is you didn't do the proper thing. There's steps I could have done to become way more famous. There's steps I could have done to make this a real quote unquote job. There's steps I could have done to better my financial situation, right? Stressful. There's a lot of stress that I'm feeling. A lot of pressure that I'm feeling is from a financial situation. Right now I have a debt. Right now I'm paying the rent, but every time I'm paying the rent, I'm digging through my savings, and my savings I got 1 more month. Right? So, in case you didn't know, today is the 22nd May. I have enough cash for June, but July, I'm fucked. Right? Now, technically speaking, if I start my job on Monday, this will never, ever be a problem. The problem is if I don't, you know, sick fuck. You know, sick fuck. I don't know what to do. That's a lot of stress. You think that when I was receiving, you wanna have too much information? Huh? You wanna have too much information? You think that when I was receiving $880 every 2 weeks, I was stressed about my taxes? I was stressed about something? No. I can live very comfortably for $950 per month. I was making $1,760. Yeah. Then October, it stopped in October. And here we are in May. I still have some leftover money. The thing that haunts me the most is the second I think about stopping, I'm saying if you stop, you just wasted 4 years of your life. Right? If you stop. Right? Ooh, thank you. Cutie Stoner. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. But she said thank you, so you're welcome. The second I think about stopping content, it's like you're gonna be wasting 4 years of your life. But then followed shortly after is you have a choice between wasting 4 years or wasting your whole life. You see, it's crazy. I'm gonna give you guys a crazy statement. You don't mind? lately I've been asking myself, what is the pursuit of happiness? What is the road to happiness? Right? And I realized that I don't know what happiness is. I know what sadness is. But the thing with sadness is, if you knew how to avoid it, you would. You're not supposed to know how to avoid sadness. Right? And I think that happiness is a highway. Right? And sadness is on both its side. Right? And they're all leading you from point A to B, from life to death. Right? You're in this car, right? You're driving forward, and you're playing this song, Car Radio for 21 Pilots. If you don't know the song, please check it out. It's amazing. And you're on this highway, right? And you don't know if you're in the good lane or the bad lane. The lane is gonna make me happy, or the lane is gonna make me sad. You don't know what it is. Tell me something. Tell me the truth. Now, if you're lying, if I ask you this question and your answer is a lie, you're lying to yourself, right? I don't care what your answer is. But tell me something. If you don't know what lane are you on, are you pressing stop or are you continuing? I am fucking continuing. I'm not stopping the car. I'm not stopping the car until I have no gas and I have 2 flat tires. I just don't give a shit. Yeah. That was nasty. That was nasty as fuck. I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.